From Brooklyn, Michigan, just a short distance from Detroit, and all that is American power and strength in the automotive industry, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is ready to roll 125 laps around this mile-and-a-half battleground just between Detroit and Battle Creek, Michigan. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Independence Racing Network. Mike Wright has been dominating the MNN Xfinity Series all season long. But some new faces are in the field tonight, ready to challenge our points leader as we are just 7 races away from the playoffs. I'm Dave Regal, and I'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag on the Independence Racing Network. And folks, glad to have you in with us tonight. And if you're watching us live on YouTube.com, make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you can be notified every time we are live on the Independence Racing Network. Right now, taking a look at qualifying as guys just getting out and laying those first laps down. We see the '04 Chevrolet driven by Ricky Carmichael going out, getting a P2 here on his opening lap, just behind RP Allen in the '03 USAA Toyota Supra. And I'll tell you what, Zach Osborne in the '16 Toyota Supra, just behind both of them as Eugenio Alonso shoots to the top of the leaderboard. Right now, as we stand, things are starting to maybe get a little bit more interesting on the points for the season as, you know, Mike Wright has now been out of 20 races, has won 10 of them this season. So literally, Mike Wright has won half of everything. And yet at this moment, I don't see Mike Wright where he usually is here on the leaderboard as looking for him. Everything's still shifting around here. Mike Wright just posted his now 15, and there he is up there, pole position, just ahead of Zach Osborne and Ricky Carmichael. Beats the two of them, and now Dylan Eckhardt to the top of the leaderboard. Speaking of Mike Wright, we're going to take a moment here and chat with him if we may. Give us 1 second. Mike Wright, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother? Well, not bad. Now, we were talking a few minutes ago off air, and, you were giving us some of the insight to the way this track is going to handle tonight. And, of course, you have the number 98 Ford Mustang here. Oh, not atop the pile anymore as Dylan Eckhardt just bested you. Looks like by 300th of a second. But the pride of Greensboro, North Carolina, what are you feeling tonight now in this machine? Mike, you are going to I'm going to have to apologize. Actually, that entire interview was basically not there. Just had a slight issue here. Stand by for me if you will. Looks like I just have a problem with Discord as it wasn't talking to OBS. Go figure, folks. There we go. Mike Wright, can you hear me? There he is. Anyway, Mike Wright, the pride of Greensboro, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen out there on YouTube, sorry for that mistake. Of course, sometimes you wind up having a few hiccups. So, Mike, go ahead and tell us again what you're feeling with this track here as you were talking about it being cloudy right now, hoping for some sun to come out.
Yeah, so we always get the test session information where we get the race times and all that, and we can put it in for our test session. So usually I just do the race time just to get used to the race setups, and then I show up in the actual session now and play with the qualifying. So it's been cloudy for both the practice and qualifying here tonight. So the test session I had was not cloudy, and so the track temp was up a bit more than where it is now. So we'll see. Right now, the sim time is still in the morning at around 11 o'clock. So we'll jump forward here, hopefully to about 3 p.m. And so that probably will change things a little bit. If it gets slicker, I think we'll break apart a little bit more, and you'll have some bigger gaps between cars, which I like to race like that. I feel like it challenges your driving skills a little bit more than the pack style. So hopefully we'll get that changeover. Um, but we look like we got tight field in qualifying. Looks like top four of us are within a tenth of a second. So we'll see. We'll see what race setups look like. It's always a fun changeover when you see one lap speed versus 15 or 20 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I was talking about just before I brought you up was, I'm a lot of times used to seeing you right at the top of the leaderboard as qualifying gets underway. And I mean, listen, man, you have had 20 races this season and 10 wins, so you've literally won half the league this year. I mean, what are you giving your credit to? I mean, obviously, because we're an open setup league, you must, have some kind of a mad genius brain when it comes to getting the setup down in the car.
I think the best part about open setups to me is that most people can be within the ballpark of each other. No matter where setups are coming from, they're going to be somewhat similar. I mean, obviously, there's usually one lane to make the cars go fast at certain tracks. So the best part about open setups for me is just being able to adjust it to your own driving style. When you get into a fixed race, you can't really change much but brake bias, maybe some of the steering offset stuff. Open setups, even if you just change pit stop stuff, I mean, that can make a big difference, even just tire pressures. So that's what I enjoy the most. And I think that's why a lot of times you'll see a little bit of change in where people run during the race just because they learn, in the pack when I'm around other cars, it feels different than what I did all week by myself. Because even when you practice with some teammates, it's only two or three or four people. So you get around 15 or 20 cars, it's always a little different. And then you realize, hey, I felt pretty good, but now these three people in front of me are running better than me. I got to do something different. So being able to go in pit road, change something. Sometimes it goes in the right way, sometimes it doesn't. So far this year, it seems like we've gone in the right way when we've made some changes and made the cars better. So uh, that's usually the game plan, and hopefully we'll get that tonight and some long runs. I like long runs. I try to every night. Try to.
That was the great Mike Wright from Furta Motorsports. Got him back up to his Discord. Glad that he is in the field tonight. Qualifying should be just about wrapped up here as we have about 45 seconds left in the qualifying session here. Right now, the only driver that has not gone out and qualified is Matt Mackin, and it does not look like he even came out and was running in any practice. And quite frankly, folks, we here at the Independence Racing Network are glad to have you with us. Week in and week out, we all work very hard, on setups and things like that. And, I'm working just as hard as these drivers are, especially because these guys basically they're out there honing their craft. We're here at the Independence Racing Network honing our craft. And we're just so glad to have you with us here in our beautiful Conshohocken, Pennsylvania studios. Definitely looking forward to tonight's Michigan International Speedway race as we have 125 laps to go. And it's about that time as we are going to get a look here at the opening grid. Just waiting for everybody to get in those beautiful machines that have been painted so well. And, a lot of these drivers, week in and week out, they spend time on these cars. They take this very seriously, and they should. There's a lot riding on it. We have a lot of rewards and things in the season, and these guys deserve every bit of those accolades. Right now, taking a look here at our point standings, looks like Mike Wright, who we had just spoken to, sitting atop the pile, as we mentioned, with 10 wins on the season. Bobby Blazer, who is the driver of the number 90 machine, not out here that I don't see this evening, and I do not see him this evening. As we see this field now all gridded up, we see the 3-car of Bennett Allen here, ready to rock and roll. But Robert Nestor, your MNN Xfinity Series commissioner, out there in third, and we're going to in third in your points, and we are going to take a moment here as we run through the starting grid. Bennett Allen here in the number 3 Toyota Supra, getting ready to pull out behind the iRacing.com pace car. He's going to be on the pole there on the inside of row number 1 with Dylan Ackart on his outside. Mike Wright going to be just behind him in row number 2, with Clayton Davis on the outside of row number 2. Zach Osborne and Ricky Carmichael make up row number 3 here, and we see Zach Osborne from Claremont here in the number 16 Toyota Supra getting out here to fall into line. Ricky Carmichael of Supercross and motocross fame here in the 04 Chevrolet Camaro, starting on the outside of row number 3. Eugenio Alonso driving the number 86 Chevrolet Camaro from Buenos Aires is here starting on the inside of row number 4, with Jeff Carson making his return to the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series ranks from Cross Junction, Virginia, back out here on track. Of course, last week we had, or 2 weeks ago, Jeff had lost his father. We had a little memorial for him with that four-wed salute. Jeff took a couple weeks off to gather himself, as one does, and just great to have him back. I raced with him last night. He said he feels better. Things going very well. Row number 5 made up of R.P. Allen in the 03 Toyota Supra, with my good buddy from Smithfield, Pennsylvania, Chad Sanner in the number 59 Chevrolet Camaro. Justin Davis in the number 15 Chevrolet Camaro starts on the inside of row number 6, with Aaron Mack in the 31 on his outside from Fort Riley, Kansas. Zachary Vaughn and Brandon Minto making up row number 7. And row number 8 with Matthew Gaskins and Corey Burkett in the number 13 Ford. Doug Argabright and Bob Nestor going to be starting on the inside, or I'm sorry, in row number 9. Bob Nestor, the pride of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, and your MNN Xfinity Series commissioner, with Doug Argabright on his outside, the LA kid, as it were, in the number 38 Toyota Supra. Ian Humphreys and John S. Bawalda III make up row number 10 here. John Bawalda, of course, currently living in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, the native of Bel Air, Maryland, in the number 51 Chevrolet. One heck of a driver there, as last night he was running one heck of a race. And, of course, bad things tend to happen sometimes, and bad things happen to him there in the Cup Series. Michael Astuto, new to the Xfinity Series here on Monday Night NASCAR, starting on the inside of row number 11, with Bradley Gunn from Aztec, New Mexico. From Aztec, New Mexico, in the number 36 Toyota Supra. Chris Cloud, the pride of Fairview, Tennessee, driving the number 10 Dasani Toyota Supra. Of course, also our Sunday Night NASCAR commissioner. And I'll tell you what, Cup Series going very well for Chris this year. Tony Burt, my good buddy there, starting here in 24th from Hodgesville, West Virginia, in the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro. Glad to see him driving the number 4, as he deserves all of those accolades. And Matt Mackin in the 01 Chevrolet Camaro, starting shotgun on the field here from it looks like Elria, Ohio. Matt Mackin starting shotgun. So a lot going on tonight here in the Xfinity Series. We've seen just about everybody qualify, as Matt Mackin, the only driver not to qualify. But you know what? Sometimes you're looking there at the rear and you're thinking, you know what? Maybe it's better that I hang out back here. Not a bad idea at Michigan International Speedway, but here in the MNN Xfinity Series, this is some of the best racing that you see on the iRacing.com servers. These drivers are clean, they're fast, they're skilled. What you're about to see tonight in Brooklyn, Michigan is something that you might not see the rest of the week on the iRacing.com servers, no matter where you are or what you're watching. So, folks, that iRacing.com pace car has its lights out, and they bring the field into turn number 3. That means that at this point, you should probably go call a friend. And when you call that friend, you tell them, grab some popcorn and let's settle in. Because I'll tell you what, folks, as we roll through turn number 3 and 4, these drivers are getting set. They're getting ready. The number 66 on the outside, driven by Dylan Ackart, just behind Bennett Allen. Looks like we're going to have one heck of a race tonight. And we are under green flag conditions as Bennett Allen brings them into the Geico restart zone. The man in the stand waves the green flag in his hand, and we are underway at Michigan International Speedway. Dylan Ackart leading the field as he is now jumped in front of our pole sitter, Bennett Allen. Bennett Allen, of course, there in second position. Looks like Dylan Ackart said, I'm going to take the lead here, and that opens the door for Clayton Davis now to get just in front of our points leader, Mike Wright, as Dylan Ackart will get credit for leading the first lap here at Michigan International Speedway. Ackart, Allen, Davis, Wright, and Allen make up your top 5. These drivers all night long are going to be going at it, hammer and tongs. Whoa, we've got one loose, a few car lengths back here. Just on the inside here of Bob Nestor. We're going to see if that would have been Brandon Minto. Nope. How about Corey Burkett in the 13? Corey Burkett's had kind of a rough go of it, as he has got quite a few incident points last week and the week before, but hopefully he can get that car pointed the right direction this week as the number 13 Ford Mustang working the inside now of Chad Sanner here in the 59 car. And looks like the Black Rifle Coffee Machine now chasing down Commissioner Bob Nestor in the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra, as right now Nestor sucked right up to the rear of Brandon Minto, and these two going to be working together all night long. Now Sanner working the inside of Nestor up to Minto. And I'll tell you what, last night, if last night's Cup race was any indication, we are going to see a lot of 3-wide action here tonight, as they are now 3 wide back here and have gotten themselves sorted back out to go side by side. Basically, your leaders, if we take a look here at the front of the pack, that top 3, Bennett Allen, Dylan Ackart, and R.P. Allen, all single file here working together, putting a lot of distance between themselves and Mike Wright. And Mike Wright kind of hoping Clayton Davis and Eugenio Alonso can draft together, work their way up to him, and hopefully give him a helping hand, as they could make this a 6-car battle for the lead. But right now, things basically calming down. Looks like Jeff Carson chasing down Ricky Carmichael, as Carmichael here in the 04 Chevrolet Camaro, sticking to that high groove, as pretty popular here at Michigan, decides to allow, never mind, he's not going to allow Carson to just take that spot, as they're going to be side by side coming down the backstretch. Carson trying to get a little bit closer, maybe pick off a side draft. A little soon for that, but Carson, skilled driver, and Carmichael, of course, as you know, also has some Xfinity Series experience here in real life. So, looks like he is maybe getting a little loose coming out of turn number 4 as they cross the start-finish line side by side. Looks like Carson going to have the edge here on lap number 6 of 125 at Michigan International Speedway. Working our way through the field, Bob Nestor now working his way up toward Justin Davis, as Justin Davis in what looks to be the Ghost Machine. Looks like it should be Ghost Energy, not really sure, but whoa! The 91 and the 59 get together. Jeff Carson has crashed. We're going to see what's going on there, as we are under caution. Well, this will be an interesting turn of events that we're going to see here as Jeff Carson here in the number 9 machine, now working the inside of Ricky Carmichael. I'm sorry, I was just looking for a better camera angle here as we're going to take off and take a look at this. We see Carson working the inside. Carmichael thought that he could take that 3 wide and just kind of yeeted Carson down on through. And you can see right there, you know what? It happens. It's not the end of the world. But I'm sure Carson probably not a happy camper as, definitely not the way that you want to start that race out. We'll go here to quarter speed and we can see exactly what happened. Carson came down to the low side, didn't really allow a whole lot of room. Of course, he really shouldn't have had to. And it looks like Carmichael just came down to make it 3 wide and get around the 16 that was holding up traffic and just sent Carson down for a loop. 8 laps in of 125 under caution here at Michigan International Speedway. R.P. Allen, your race leader, as we are working our way toward lap number 30 for stage 1. And things starting to heat up here as right now, the way that your top 10 looks, R.P. Allen sits atop the pile with Dylan Ackart just behind him. Bennett Allen in third, Mike Wright in fourth, your points leader. Clayton Davis, relatively new to the MNN Xfinity Series, restarting in fifth position. Sixth is Eugenio Alonso. Ricky Carmichael in his MNN Xfinity debut tonight in the 04 Chevrolet Camaro, going to be restarting in seventh. Zach Osborne in eighth, Brandon Minto in ninth, and Chad Sander rounding out the top 10 in the number 59 machine. And I'll tell you what, folks, these drivers, they've got to be starting to get a little antsy as, it takes about 7 laps for those tires to really come into their own. I would say 5 to 7 laps. And, quite frankly, at this stage in the race, you're just kind of hanging on for dear life, if I do say so myself, trying to keep that car clean. And, more times than not, dumb things, bad things can happen. Folks, if you're just tuning in on YouTube.com, I'm Dave Regal here in the broadcast booth. Welcome into the Independence Racing Network. And you are watching the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series live action here. 9 laps in of 125. We are under caution for the first time this evening. And tell you what, right now, things starting to take shape a little bit here. And getting ready to go back green as the iRacing.com pace car brings the field out of turn number 2. These drivers all starting to get themselves settled in as we are side by side working our way toward lap number 30. And, one of the things that I always think about here at Michigan is, where we are. I mean, we're really right here in the shadow of all that is, American motor power. And, this is a big race for a lot of manufacturers. Of course, your Fords and your Chevrolets. And back in the day, it used to be exciting for your Dodges and your Plymouth and everything else that used to be made right there in Detroit. And unfortunately, now things have seemed to calm down. But, at the end of the day, this is still Michigan. This is still just outside of Detroit. That iRacing.com pace car has come down pit road, which means that R.P. Allen going to have control of the field. He hits the Geico restart zone, and we are back under green flag conditions here at Michigan International Speedway. Watching the 91 now of Zachary Vaughn working the inside of what appears to be the 38 of Doug Argabright, trying to chase down the 15 of Justin T. Davis. And that Ghost Energy number 15, there it is, Ghost Energy number 15, Chevrolet Camaro, holding his own here as he is now getting after Chad Sander. Sander on the high side of Bob Nestor. And we can see Bob now ever so gently getting his way up here onto the inside. Whoa! Of the 16 of Zach Osborne. And Osborne came down almost as if to say, no, you're not going to get this too easy. And maybe he thought Nestor was going to back out of the throttle, but Nestor said, not so fast, my friend. That's my position, and I won it, as Nestor secures 9th position and is now chasing down Ricky Carmichael as we are under caution yet again, as Justin T. Davis has had himself some kind of an incident. We're going to take a run back here and see what's going on. Second caution of the night. Justin Davis, not real sure what happened. As we're going to watch this together, folks. We see Sanner come down in front of Davis. Davis gets shuffled back here 3 wide in front of the 91, turned around on the backstretch, and as soon as he turns around, of course, he's the only one really affected by that. The 91 kind of helped him along there. We'll take a look at it from the 91's perspective. And here we see the 91 as he was working the inside. Oh, well, maybe from that angle, it looks like the 15 kind of came down in front. Well, they'll have to review that in race, as everybody got themselves all out of whack there. And you know what? You can't blame them. You really can't, because, at the end of the day, racing's racing. Things happen. It's not the end of the world. But there we have it. Justin Davis and the 91 getting into it and bringing out caution number 2 on the evening. And folks, while we are under caution, the iRacing.com pace car has its lights on. We are going to step aside and hear from our good friends over at Butt Kicker, proudly sponsoring the MNN Xfinity Series here in 2022.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
And welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. Dave Regal here on the Independence Racing Network, bringing you all of the exclusive action here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, live from Brooklyn, Michigan. Taking a look here at the field as we get ready to restart after caution number 2 that was brought out by the 15 car of Justin T. Davis and the 91 of Zachary Vaughn. We are getting ready to go back underway here in just a few moments. R.P. Allen going to be leading the field here on the inside with Dylan Ackard on his right. There on the high side, Bennett Allen, his, of course, R.P.'s brother, just behind him on the inside of row number 2 with your points leader, Mike Wright, on the high side. And Clayton Davis on the inside of row number 3 with Eugenio Alonso on his outside. The iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road. The man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. Bennett Allen working his way into the Geico restart zone, takes his time waiting for the green flag to come out, and we are back underway here at Michigan International Speedway. The Allen brothers here at the top of the pile drafting together, and it looks like Bennett Allen now going to be taking it away from RP as Bennett going to work the inside now of RP Allen. That's going to make him frustrated as the USAA Toyota Supra here trying to get away from his brother. And I'll tell you what, the 3 car not trying to give up any time soon, as at this stage in the game we can see these drivers making it hot and heavy as we are just about 3 wide, a little behind that. And all of a sudden, everything's shuffling. There's all kinds of mayhem and mess here on the front stretch. My gosh. And looks like we are still under green. We'll take a look, as we are still under green, but we'll take a look back here at it. And we're taking a look here as, oh my, the 38 and the 25 get together, and it just turns into all kinds of a mess. Oddly enough, we stay under green here. My gosh. Well, that'll change things a little bit here as we are 17 laps in, working our way toward lap number 30. RP Allen, your race leader. Things have now really shuffled around as looks like several drivers, including Ricky Carmichael, who was involved in that, have come down pit road. You got to remember, we don't have fast repairs, as we see Carmichael now bringing the 04 Chevrolet Camaro pit side, and we'll see how long, as we're going to see what kind of damage he has. Sounds like Bob Nestor having himself some mechanical problems as he is back here overheating. And maybe some damage here to the front of the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. Looks like he's got a little crinkle there. We'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, we'll see what Carmichael's doing here, as he is going to get 4 tires and see how much damage there will be. And looks like Corey Burkett in the number 13 yet again down pit road, as he was bitten by the incident bug last week. So looks like his troubles continue, and, you know, I'm sure Corey will be practicing and working on it harder than ever. But unfortunately for him tonight, now he, Zach Osborne, Ricky Carmichael, and Jeff Carson all down basically getting some repair. Jeff Carson looks like he has put it on the hauler here on what is now lap number 19. Eugenio Alonso looking like he is going to be poking in here on the inside of Clayton Davis, driving the number 2 car. Clayton here trying to hold his own, running the high side. I guess deciding that he's going to allow Alonso to basically, you know, overcook those tires, take some wear off of them as there. Wow! Eugenio deciding to swing up right in front of him. That was dangerous there, folks. As Eugenio Alonso now securing away 5th position. We are 3 wide, as it looks like Davis Brothers Roofing Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series Commissioner Chris Claude just shot the middle here between Tony Burt and Aaron Mack in the 31, and now they have all gone single file, as Chris Claude has been racing with some kind of a new attitude. As you know, a lot of times you'll see Chris logging laps and just being absolute Mr. Consistency, but he has really been Mr. Competitor, as he, you know, we see him pretty early in the race here with 21 laps in, running in the top 10. And oftentimes we see Chris, you know, kind of hanging back, waiting for the bad things to happen. And I guess he's decided that it's time to get up here in the salad bowl and get tossed around. Speaking of commissioners, we're going to take a look back here at John Bawalda just in front of Chris Claude, running in 9th position. So 2 commissioners running in 9th and 10th, respectively. And unfortunately, the third of that 3 musketeers of league commissioners, Bob Nestor, running back here in 21st as he had some overheating issues. So unfortunately for Nestor, kind of a crappy way to finish out stage number 1. But I'll tell you what, at this point, at this stage in the game, looks like Aaron Mack going to be one of the most challenged drivers, as he is still running where he had started, but working the inside now. Chasing down Tony Burt in the 4 car. And Tony Burt, speaking of Mr. Consistency, Tony Burt is absolutely one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. I mean, just such a good person, does not, when Tony Burt bounces into someone by accident, of course, right now he doesn't have much of a choice or much of a chance to, because he's fortunately, got some space in front and below. In fact, he's got 3/4 of a second to Chris Claude and 3/4 of a second behind him to Justin Davis. So actually safest driver out on track right now, Tony Burt. But Tony is just one of those guys, if he even just rubs into you, doesn't even give you any incident points, Tony is there, apologizing, hey, didn't mean to. And I can attest to that personally. He is one heck of a driver. Taking a look now at the number 2 Ghost Energy Chevrolet Camaro, driven by Clayton Davis. Clayton does not have a long, basically doesn't have a long career here in the MNN Xfinity Series. About to be passed by Brandon Minto, who has been with us just about every race this season. And Minto now backing off and allowing Davis to get the run on him, coming out of turn 4, back onto the front stretch into the tri-oval. Taking a look here at newcomer to the MNN Xfinity League, Michael Astuto in the number 39 Cookout machine, being chased down by Matt Gaskins in the Outcast Sim Paints Ford Mustang, as looks like these two ready to go out at hammer and tongs. We see just peeking in there Ian Humphreys in his number 32 Premier Setup Shop Toyota Supra with his teammate Matthew Helm just behind him. I'll tell you what, the 32 and the 25 are almost never more than 2 or 3 positions apart. And here they are running, right now, 15-16, Matthew Helm and Ian Humphreys are. And quite frankly, folks, there really isn't much of a better battle right now, as these guys are all single file. Looks like Ricky Carmichael and Corey Burkett both able to get off of pit road now, as they are a couple of laps down each. We see Burkett running in 23rd and Carmichael in 24th. And quite frankly, I think both of these drivers, as they are both, Carmichael, this is his debut here in the Xfinity Series on iRacing.com, at least here on the MNN side. Carmichael, I'm sure, will go out here, get his laps in, get those points up, and get comfortable in that machine. Corey Burkett, meanwhile, he's got some ground to make up, and it looks like it's not going to get much better, as Dylan Eckhardt and Eugenio Alonso doing battle right behind him, and looks like Dylan Eckhardt managed to get by, Burkett, and now Alonso and Bennett Allen going at it side by side here, as they have now slid back into single file. And not that I want to dwell on it too much, but Ricky Carmichael, of course, motocross and supercross normal racer. And I'll tell you what, he has an impressive career there on the dirt with 2 wheels, and also has a pretty impressive career here on the stock car racing side. Of course, he was in AMA motocross and supercross for years, from 1999 all the way through 2007, and holds basically titles that range all the way from 1997 to 2006. He's got 12 wins in the AMA Supercross. Pull him up here. There he is. In the AMA Supercross Series, and 26 wins in motocross, then 48 wins in the 250/450 AMA Supercross. So obviously, Ricky Carmichael, one heck of a dirt bike racer. Now in NASCAR, things a little bit different, but he was running with Turner Motorsports in 2010 and 2011 in the Nationwide Series, and then of course Truck Series there in the Camping World Truck Series in 2009, 10, and 11. And looks like most recently he was out here in 2011 in the Camping World Truck Series and the ARCA Series. So Turner Motorsports obviously big in the life of Ricky Carmichael, and we're glad to have him tonight here debuting in the MNN Xfinity Series. But right now we got to be focused here on Dylan Ackart as we are on the last lap now of stage number 1, lap number 30, as Ackart brings the field down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4 one more time, as we're going to see him get ready to line up and cross the start-finish line. Once we see him cross, we're going to be waiting for who I would assume to be Chris Claude here in the number 10 car, finishing in 10th, as he is making the exit out of turn 4, chasing down John Bawalda, as I'm wondering if Chris is going to be trying to chase down Bawalda or not. And just as Chris crosses the start-finish line, the green and white checkered flag flies, and Dylan Ackart, your stage 1 leader, stage 1 winner here at Michigan International Speedway. We will get him pulled up here to the broadcast booth in just a moment, as I am assuming, of course this is a complete guess, that he's going to come down there on pit road. Hey, Dylan Ackart, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
I have a copy, my good friend.
Hey, man, listen, great win there for stage 1. I mean, listen, kind of quiet, played it pretty conservative. You were just out there laying laps down while you were trying to get around the Allen brothers and keep Eugenio Alonso in the rearview mirror. I mean, obviously that PRSsetup.com number 66 Chevrolet Camaro holding it together for you.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the run, not all that good, but once we get the tires worn down a little bit, this thing just comes alive, and just gotta keep hitting my marks, keep doing the right thing, and hopefully not mess up this pit stop.
Yeah, man, listen, I'll hold my breath for you. I don't want to get in the way of your pit stop, so I'll take a minute here. Lord only knows I don't want to be the guy that causes you to miss that pit stall. Thank God you're down there toward the front.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but yeah, the 66 Chevy Premier Setup Shop I can't ask for a better car. We're dealing with a little bit of overheating, but we're gonna fix some tape, do a little bit of tire pressure adjustments, and hopefully we can keep this thing moving forward and hold this lead. And
moving forward, you better keep it moving straight. I'll tell you what, that was kind of like that was a slalom slope kind of move coming out of your pit box, pal. Man, that's why you're down there keeping it straight, and I'm here in the booth getting drunk. It's a whole thing.
Oh man, I'd rather do that though.
No, not when you're leading. No. You need to keep it entertaining down there on the track, brother. But listen, I mean, you've got that PRS.com machine just all kinds of cranked up. I mean, only a couple of cautions there in the first stage. You held it together. Proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and hopefully we got the cautions out of the way, and we can just run laps until the next stage and get another stage win and let the real race begin.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, listen, go out there and chase it down for stage 2, brother.
All right. Thank you very much.
That was Dylan Ackart. And I'll tell you what, Dylan Ackart, part of one of those teams there that just absolutely comes out and, they are here to win week in and week out. Glad to have him with us as, we get ourselves ready to reset. Looks like Corey Burkett and Ricky Carmichael going to be taking the free pass, as they didn't come down for pit service, but everybody else did. So The iRacing.com pace car lights must be out because they've decided to take off and get that lap back. Meanwhile, we're going to look at how we're going to get ready to restart with Dylan Ackart on the inside of row number 1. Eugenio Alonso restarting in P2. Bennett Allen, Mike Wright, and Clayton Davis going to round out the top 5 as we get reset here. Brandon Minto, John Bawalda III, Chris Claude, Tony Burt, and Justin Davis going to round out your top 10. I'll tell you what, good to see Tony Burt, Chris Claude working up there together as, you know what, I'll tell you, both of those drivers, if you need somebody to be near you, draft with you, or take your time with you, I mean, I would want Tony Burt and Chris Claude right around me as definitely driving on pillows. Looks like everybody all the way down through 21 came for pit service here. So as the iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road, Dylan Ackart with his finger on the button. Bennett Allen going to be restarting just behind him. As we enter the Geico restart zone, a little checkup from Allen. That allows Eugenio Alonso to hop right out and get right nestled in just behind Dylan, as maybe Dylan had checked up just a hair. And he may have missed the gear when they were getting ready to get moving. Causes everybody to check up behind him. But we are back underway here at Michigan International Speedway. Looks like Justin Davis leading a little interesting group here as these drivers getting themselves all set up here. We see Brandon Minto in that group, and now the 25 of Matthew Helm as they are 3 wide in front with the 03 of RP Allen. Now, the meat in the middle of that sandwich getting out in front of Justin Davis in the Ghost Energy number 15 Chevrolet Camaros. He is side by side with Michael Astuto, who's out here in his debut in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. Looks like RP Allen is on a mission. And it looks like RP Allen easily going to get right on around, I'm sorry, my goodness, just forgot his name. Chris Claude there in the number 10 Toyota Supra. Looks like Chris basically just trying to hold his line and be consistent, as we had talked about earlier. He's doing exactly what I thought he would do. And it looks like Eugenio Alonso coming down pit road. Not sure what's going on. Hopefully everything's okay, as he was just in a few laps ago. Perhaps picked up the black flag as he is now sliding down here. We'll see if he takes service, or we'll wait to see if this car lifts up on his right, your left side. And it was a stop-and-go penalty, evidently, for Alonso, who is now running in 21st. The question now becomes, does he come out and beat the field, who, of course, is going to be coming like bats out of you-know-where? And it looks like he may beat him. He is just going to barely be hanging on to that as we look here from our drone cam, as just underneath the camera is where Eugenio Alonso is. So hopefully he can hold off that that big old line there. But right now, as we switch to our other drone, Bennett Allen, your new race leader, as Dylan Ackart has gone to the high side. We'll see exactly what may have happened there a little bit later, but looks like right now Bennett Allen ready to set sail as Mike Wright and Dylan Ackart ready to go at it hammer and tongs. Tony Burt here in the 4-car working the high side of RP Allen. Tony Burt now all the way up here to 7th position, up 17 spots from where he had begun, as our biggest mover of the race. And I'll tell you what, as I mentioned earlier, Tony Burt, just an all-around good class act kind of guy. I mean, he has worked his way up here very patiently and works every week to keep that car clean. One of the interesting things that you wouldn't know about Tony Burt is that he has himself a real sim rig that's in his garage. I mean, it looks like an ARCA car to me. And I mean, just has the entire rig set up there, and it just looks incredible. So, and I'm sure that he'd be more than willing to show that to just about anybody who would ask. As R.P. Allen takes away that 7th position, that leaves Tony Burt just 16 spots up from where he had began the race. But, of course, we don't really have to worry about that too much, as he's already worked his way up here, and I'm sure that he will continue to work his way forward here at Michigan International Speedway. "41 laps of 125 in. We're working our way toward lap number 60. Pretty clean stage here so far, as we had 2 wrecks in stage number 1. And I'll tell you what, not the end of the world by any stretch of the term. Because if you really think about it, out of 125 laps, if you've only, and out of a 30 lap stint there for stage 1, I mean, to have 2 cautions, heck, sometimes you can't be, get in and out of a public server on iRacing.com without getting beat to death. So, folks, if you are just tuning in on YouTube.com, make sure that you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and give us a heads up if you're in there. Let us know who you're pulling for, as we've got a busy night here at Michigan International Speedway. And, to be completely honest with you, folks, it's not a bad night. 42 laps of 125 in, I think we can work with that. So we are going to step aside right now and pay some bills here on the Independence Racing Network.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, they're wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
Well, things seem to have gotten a little hairy here for John Bawalda in the 51 car. John Bawalda and the 03. John Bawalda and the 03 of RP Allen getting into it as RP Allen just washes up into the 51 at the same time. The 25 and the 10 managed to get into it together. Not really what you want to see, as of course we were at commercial, but fortunately I was able to show you several of those replays, of those replay angles, as it almost looks like it was just simultaneous. So obviously things going to be getting a little interesting now, as that should end. That will not end stage number 2 here. I don't know who thought that it would, but we are on lap number 46 of 125. Bennett Allen, of course, brother of RP Allen, just involved in that wreck there, leads your race here at Michigan International Speedway. Taking a look here through the field, looks like Bennett Allen going to be bringing us back to green as the iRacing.com pace car lights are off, which means that we are about to go back green here at Michigan. Taking a look here from the spotter stand down to Bennett Allen here up top the pile. Mike Wright just behind him, restarting in P2. Dylan Ackert in third. Brandon Minto and Clayton Davis round out the top 5. Tony Burt now gets up into 6th position, now up 18 spots from where he had begun. Running in 6th position there in the number 4 machine, and I'll tell you what, he's going to be the guy to start watching, is the pride of Hodgesville. Oh, and you can see there in his SDK information his racing rig there at home. But got to be honest, I'm starting to watch Tony Burt. He's going to be the one. I'm getting a feeling as the 66 and the 12 of Brandon Minto here on the high side, following Bennett Allen and Mike Wright, and we're going to see if Mike Wright gets that all so familiar commanding lead that he does on these 1.5 mile tracks. They get into the Geico restart zone. Bennett Allen takes off, and we are back green flag racing at Michigan International Speedway. Three wide here with Eugenio Alonso right there in the middle. That's definitely not a position you want to be in here, as it looks like now the 03 going to get behind him and just in front of Commissioner Bob Nestor, as they are side by side. The 32 blinking out with some connection issues just in front of Nestor. That can always be distracting. Looks like RP in the 03 going to be trying to draft up to the rear of Eugenio Alonso as we enter turns 1 and 2 one more time here at Michigan International Speedway. Lap number 49, working our way toward lap number 60. So far, so good here in the Xfinity Series, as now we see everybody kind of getting single file, getting organized, as that's one thing that's always very important here at a place like Michigan, as drafting becomes, I'm not saying this is a mini super speedway by any stretch of the term, but drafting definitely becomes part of the equation here, at a 1.5 mile speedway that's this wide, and the banking is not ridiculously high, as they are 3 wide, the 15, 25, and the 36. As the 25 manages to get by the inside of the 15, they're back to side by side, as the 25, as the 15, holds on to his position. We're going to take a look here at Matthew Helm, who's now drives away from that mess that was just left there in his dust here on lap number 50. Looking in here at Zachary Vaughn working the inside of R.P. Allen as he chases down the number 15 of Justin T. Davis. Whoa! R.P. Allen yeets the wall but manages to keep it pushing forward as he is going to manage to keep it moving. We're going to run that back and just see exactly what might have happened to him. And we see the 03 and the 03 and the 91 get into it, and it forces RP to go up there and yeet the wall just a little, and that allows Bob Nestor and the 31 machine to get on by him. Glad to have you in with us tonight on the Independence Racing Network, live on YouTube.com, brought to you by RS Button Boxes, Butt Kicker, and proudly presented by Northeastern Fire and Air. I'll tell you what, right now here with Dylan Ackart leading the way with Mike Wright and Bennett Allen in tow, these three drivers I can see as we are moving our way deeper and deeper into stage number 2. They are going to be going at it hammer and tongs later here in the race. And, I got to be honest, I know Bennett Allen, one of the more aggressively skilled drivers here in the Xfinity Series. He's not going to be using the hammer and tongs. No, sir. The torch and pitchfork is going to come out if they get close here toward the end of this race. But we haven't even reached halfway yet, and that's pretty exciting as we've had some great racing. Just 3 cautions so far. It kind of wrapped up about 8 cars, maybe a few more. But things starting to get settled down here late in stage number 2 as we are working our way toward lap number 60. Now, when lap 60 is complete, so at the beginning of lap number 61, once the 10th place car right now, that would be Michael Astuto in the number 39 Cookout Ford Mustang. It wouldn't be until he would pass the start-finish line that stage would be ended, the caution flag would be thrown out, and the green and white checkered flag would be awarded to, at this moment, would be Dylan Ackart. Bennett Allen working the inside of Eugenio Alonso in the number 86 Chevrolet Camaro. These two drivers who go at it week in and week out, now here getting those hammer and tongs out that I was just talking about. Bennett Allen getting ready for his torch and pitchfork as he is going to be going after Eugenio Alonso, because he is not a driver that you want to take his position away like that from, especially with just 5 laps now to the end of stage number 2. I mean, Tony Burt at this stage in the game, he has now worked himself up 16 positions. He is feeling good right now where he is. Doug Argabright in the 38 machine. He's got to be feeling pretty good in the number 38 Great Clips Toyota Supra, with Brad Gunn rounding out the top 10 in his number 36 Toyota Supra. One of the things that's very characteristic of this particular league is the variety of manufacturers that we see here. You know, you'll notice here as the ticker at the top of your screen goes on by, there's definitely more Toyotas than anything, but there's a pretty nice smattering of Fords, of course, only 3 of them, but a pile of Chevrolets and, 4 Fords, but a pile of Chevrolets and Toyotas here, of which Brad Gunn is one. And keeping an eye on as much as we can here, looks like we're going to have quite a battle here between Bennett Allen and Eugenio Alonso, as Bennett Allen losing ground on Alonso, almost backing up here to Clayton Davis in the number 2 Ghost Energy Chevrolet Camaro. So not really sure if he's intentionally slowing down or maybe just trying to get himself safe.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air. Just getting ready to end stage number 2 here at Michigan International Speedway. Looks like Dylan Ackart going to bring home the green and white checkered flag one more time as he just did in stage number 1. We're going to get him dialed up here on the Independence Racing Network as, once again, we see just his dominance here in the Premier Racing Setupshops.com number 66 Chevrolet Camaro. And we will just take one moment here and try to get a hold of him. Dylan Ackart, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
I got you, buddy.
Listen, man, congratulations there on your Stage 2 win. I mean, listen, once again, that machine is just looking great. What do you think?
30 laps I don't mind, but I got this 86 behind me here, and he's fast on the longer run, so we gotta just play our cards out right, and hopefully we stay green throughout this next stage and do a green flag pit stop, and hopefully we play the right strategy card.
Yeah, it definitely seems like, you're going to be playing that strategy card, pit strategy at least, the best that you can. I mean, all things considered, you leading Alonso and Mike, right? I mean, if there's any two other names that I wouldn't want to see in my rearview mirror on a restart, it's the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been with Mike for a few years now, so he and I have been in different leagues and groups and whatnot. So he and I have been around a long time. But Eugene, he's fast. He definitely worries me. But we just gotta keep the tires clean. I've been kind of sliding the tires around a little too much, and I gotta stop that. And then hopefully we just get to the next stage and pit stops and do good.
Yeah, we're watching you come in here now, get those 4 Mr. Feelgoods and a tank of Go Fast from our good friends over at Sunoco. Are you making any adjustments this time, or are you pretty comfortable?
Oh, we're always changing.
Fair enough. Well, it looks like Alonso beat you off a pit road this time, but we're pretty sure that you'll get him back at some point here in this stage.
Well, I'm actually not upset about that because I can sit behind him and save tires, so.
Save tires and save fuel.
Yes, I mean, if we can do one extra lap more than some of these other guys, it'll put us in a good location. So we gotta see what the 66 Premier Setup Shop Chevrolet does, powered by eSports, and just gotta see what happens in these next 60-something laps. 61, I think, when we go back to green.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely going to be the long run of the race. So good luck to you, buddy, and maybe we'll see you in victory lane.
Oh, I hope so.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
All right, thank you.
That was Dylan Ackart, driver of the number 66 Premier Racing Setupshops.com Chevrolet Camaro. And I'll tell you what, these drivers all day long going to be, especially now here with this last stage now coming up. One of the things that we're going to be looking at here in the last stage is these drivers have now made a lot of changes to these cars. So we're going to see a lot of different strategies playing out. As you just heard from Dylan Ackart there, our stage winner, he's going to be playing that pit stop strategy, as he's probably going to be looking for a green flag pit stop. I mean, listen, if a late caution comes out, he'll be fine. They should have enough fuel to get about half to maybe even 3/4 of the way through this stage. So we should start to see some green flag laps come in about lap number 90 as things going to be winding down there. And I would say that pit window is going to open up about lap 90, maybe close around lap 100. But the iRacing.com pace car leading the cars down the field. Dylan Ackart and Eugenio Alonso going to be on the front row, with Brandon Minto and Mike Wright in row number 2. Row number 3 going to be Clayton Davis and Bennett Allen. Row number 4, Matt Gaskins and Doug Argabright. Michael Astuto, as I had mentioned, in his first night here in the Xfinity Series, with Tony Bird, our good buddy, rounding out the top 10. And folks, as we get ready to go back green flag racing, you make sure that you strap in and get ready for stage number 3, because this is what it all has been waiting for. Everybody's made their changes. They're pretty much locked into these setups now, as there may not be time to make any real drastic changes come stage 3 here. And the iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road, and there's nothing but asphalt in front of Eugenio Alonso and Dylan Ackart here, as we are now going to be entering the Geico restart zone. Alonso takes off, and we are underway in stage number 3 in Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series action at Michigan International Speedway. We see the 10 car kind of washing up into the 91 of the 32. The 10 car now checking up almost into the front bumper of Bob Nestor. And he is now going to get in front of Nestor, I guess hoping for a small push, as now we see Truck Series Commissioner John Bawalda now working the inside of Nestor, who obviously has that. Oh, the 32 is sideways, comes across the nose here of the 10. We are under caution. Let's take a look and see exactly what might have happened there. We see the 32 car there just kind of getting it all wrong on those cold tires. So he's definitely going to have to back up. Looks like he didn't really get much damage at all. So shouldn't be too much of a problem here at Michigan International Speedway.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing it's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Some amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway, where Eugenio Alonso, going to be your race leader, has control of the field as the iRacing.com pace car getting ready to dive down pit road yet again. And just as we see Alonso, Ackart, Wright, Minto, and Allen, your top 5 here, get themselves all tightened up. Everybody is getting closer and closer to those bumpers. Eugenio Alonso getting ready to get into the Geico restart zone. And he takes kind of a late start, gets a push from the 98, and it does allow Dylan Ackart to become our race leader yet again, as he has been so comfortable out here atop the pile. Mike Wright probably very frustrated with Eugenio Alonso, as it looks like he had gotten going and then all of a sudden checked up there at the start-finish line. They'll have to review that in race, as the 86 is going to now be working the inside of the 2 car. And we see Bennett Allen here in the 3 car working the high side. Now Allen drafting up to the rear of the Ghost Energy Chevrolet Camaro, as these 4 going to be in kind of a salad bowl of an issue. All of a sudden, the 66 car dropping all the way down onto pit road. He may have gotten a black flag on the restart here, as it looks like Eugenio Alonso had checked up. This is our stage 1 and 2 winner, as Dylan Ackart going to have that stop and go black flag penalty here. We'll see him pull in. Doesn't take any service. Maybe a 26-second hold. We will see. Meanwhile, that shuffles Bennett Allen back to the top of this race, and the 2 car of Clayton Davis now chasing him down on the inside. They are going to be lined up as it hangs Brandon Minto out on the outside. Now, the 98 gets right into the rear of the 86 car. That gets the 86 car just loose enough, and it looks like Mike Wright now able to get around Eugenio Alonso. That's an interesting development here, as now the 2 car is side by side with Brandon Minto trying to get the run and sucked up to the rear of Bennett Allen. Meanwhile, we're going to take a look here at Dylan Ackart coming off of pit road after serving that penalty. Looks like he must have had about a 26-second stop and hold penalty on pit road. So definitely caused by Eugenio Alonso not getting underway when he was supposed to on the restart, as we are lap 73 of 125 at Michigan International Speedway. Folks, going to invite you now to turn it up and enjoy the sounds of this awesome race. In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway, where Bennett Allen leads this piece here in stage number 3 on lap number 80 of 125, just in front of Mike Wright and Eugenio Alonso. Mike Wright driving the number 98 Ford Mustang, sponsored by Ford. Looks almost like, and we could take a closer look at it, that almost looks like Petty Blue there on that Ford. But I'll tell you what, all these cars looking sharp tonight as Eugenio Alonso looking to make the move on the inside of Mike Wright, and it looks like he's going to try to hold on to that front left fender of Mike Wright to try to get a side draft here out of turn number 2. You know, turn 2 usually kind of the trouble spot here, as I had talked to a few drivers earlier on, and these 3 drivers, obviously Allen, Alonso, and Wright, able to take that transition pretty easily here at Michigan International Speedway. Of course, turn 3 and 4 a little bit more predictable as we see Minto and Davis coming off of turn 4, as that's more of a gentle transition here onto the front. Clayton Davis rounds out your top 5. Doug Argabright in the number 38. Great Clips Chevrolet Toyota Supra, bringing it down into turns 1 and 2. Matt Gaskins in the number 79 Outcast Sim Paints Ford Mustang, running in 7th position. Tony Burt, our good buddy there in the 4 car, running in 8th. Justin T. Davis making an early start here in the Xfinity Series, driving the Ghost number 15 Chevrolet Camaro, running in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 in the USAA Toyota Supra is Mr. R.P. Allen, just ahead of your Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series Commissioner Bob Nestor in the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. Michael Astuto in his debut tonight here in the number 39 Ford Mustang, sponsored by Cookout, running in 12th. Brad Gunn in 13th. Zachary Vaughn in 14th, and Ian Humphreys right now running in 15th. So a lot going on and a lot more racing to go here as we are working our way toward lap number 125. Just a little shy of that pit window opening as Eugenio Alonso and basically everybody all the way back through what appears to be 19th position coming in last on lap number 62. Now, Ian Humphreys was last in on lap number 66, so he may have a little bit of an edge when it comes to fuel mileage here. So the 32 machine has, about 4 laps more of fuel as he works his way right on by Zachary Vaughn, as Vaughn almost appeared to just give up. And I don't want to say he's given up, but it sure seems like he gave that position away pretty easily. Michael Astuto, Bob Nestor, and, what currently looks like the lapped car of Corey Burkett working the three of these cars here as Nestor now getting a run on the outside of Burkett, making it 3 wide, putting the 39 car of Michael Astuto in the middle. They are 3 wide going down the backstretch, and Corey Burkett, I got to be honest with you, he needs to back out of the throttle right now. He's a lap car, and he's causing these two other drivers here on the lead lap to be going 3 wide. And, one thing can lead to another in a 3 wide situation. Speaking of 3 wide situations, looks like the 31 of Aaron Mack just squirted right out in front of the 10 car, and we're going to see back here what's going. Wow! It almost looks like he has the 10 car in the wall there, as now the 31 car backing up here in traffic as John Bawalda and Chad Center get by his low side. Clayton Davis chasing down Brandon Minto here for 4th position. These drivers not willing to give it up easy tonight, as basically at this point you can see just a tiny gap here between Minto and Davis, as it's less than 0.2 of a second between these two drivers, as they are doing their very best to chase on down Mike Wright, Bennett Allen, and Eugenio Alonso, your race leader. And this group up here has quite an interesting dynamic right now. Eugenio Alonso about 0.3 over Mike Wright. Mike Wright has, oddly enough, 1.36 seconds over Bennett Allen. So something may be wrong with Allen's car, not really sure. But obviously he can't be happy now with an almost 1.4 second gap between himself and Mike Wright. Ian Humphreys working the inside of Bob Nestor right now in the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. Looks like Humphreys going to be holding his own and snagging that spot away from Nestor. And Nestor not willing to give it up too easy. He said, I'm not going to bed early tonight, pal. That's going to be mine yet. You're not taking it just so soon. As we see the 01 of Matt Mackin now following Nestor, basically trying to catch that draft, and now slides down and cuts the nose right on off of the number 32 Premier Racing Setups Toyota Supra. You'll have to stand by, folks, as it looks like our YouTube channel has been spammed yet again. Just saw Bob Nestor coming down pit road as he's going to be the first car to blink here. And it looks like he's going to come in here on lap number 91. That sets him up with just about 30 laps, a little bit more than 30 laps to go here, as it looks like he is going to take all 4 tires, get a tank of Go Fast, and that should set him up for a nice run here toward the beginning, as the pit window has now opened. And we're going to start to see these green flag pit stops come into play, as RP Allen is now down pit road. As I have to continue cleaning out the YouTube.com live chat. Chris Claude trying to hold off John Bawalda the third here. This battle for 16th and 17th now starting to get a little toasty, but now the 31 of Aaron Mack working the high side of Dylan Ackard, who is just barely on the lead lap, trying to hold on for dear life. Actually, I lie. Dylan Ackard a lap down here as he had served that penalty from the earlier restart. Mike Wright running in second behind Eugenio Alonso. Bennett Allen in the 3-car, running in third. Coming down pit road, he is the first of our leaders to come on down pit road. I'm sure that we're going to see him take 4 tires and a tank of Sunoco race fuel.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field worked its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing it's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Lap number 99 of 125. We are closing in on the century mark and just about at 26 laps to go. We'll be 25 in just a few moments as Tony Burt, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro, sponsored by TrackBookings.com, works his way here into 4th position now. And we see him working the high side of the 15 car. Eugenio Alonso, your race leader, coming in for pit service. That'll shuffle Brandon Minto to the lead as green flag pit stops are underway here. This is the money stop, as you all know, as we are working toward lap number 125 here in stage 3 of the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series live on YouTube.com on the Independence Racing Network. I'm Dave Regal here at the microphone. Glad to have you in with us as we've had quite an exciting night so far. And even as we're working our way through these green flag pit stops, it's starting to get a little hairy, starting to get a little later. I think probably the last person that we are going to see come in for their green flag pit stop going to be Ian Humphreys here in the 32 machine, sponsored by PremierRacingSetupShops.com, PRS. And mostly because he came in last on lap number 66, currently running in fifth. So he is going to have some time to basically cruise around here in a few moments, as he's got Chad Sanner running in sixth position just behind him. There's about 8 seconds of difference behind him, but right now closest races on the board are between Tony Burt and Matt Gaskins. I'm sorry, between Tony Burt and Doug Argabright here, as Argabright in the 38 trying to get around Tony Burt, as Argabright last also came in on lap 62. Looks like Tony Burt going to come in for pit service now, as he is coming off of pit road. Brandon Minto also coming off pit road as he comes down in for his service. And for lack of a better term, and then there were four. Matt Gaskins, Doug Argabright, Ian Humphreys, and Chad Sanner have not come down yet for pit service here on their money stop. Lap 102 of 125, 24 to go now here at Michigan International Speedway. Doug Argabright looking to redeem himself and claw his way back up here. Unfortunately, the winner of stage 1 and 2, Dylan Ackard, driver of the number 66 machine, he had gotten a black flag earlier on our last restart after Eugenio Alonso checked up and caused him to get past him on the restart. So, Dylan Ackard kind of driving with a little chip on his shoulder tonight. But don't look now. Looks like the 25 and the 66 are going to be near, the 25 and the 32 running near together, even though Matthew Helm here in the 25 machine all the way back in 23rd and looks to be about 7 laps down. So obviously not a good day for the 25 team. Taking a look here at Ricky Carmichael in the 04 Chevrolet Camaro. He's out here with 97 laps. He's down about 6 laps, which he's been pretty fairly consistent with all day. As, not the end of the world. I mean, look, 6 weeks is 6 weeks. You can get that time back. Amen? Amen. But Matthew Gaskins now your race leader, as he, Argabright, and Humphreys are the last three. And I would argue that Humphreys is going to be the one that wins the battle of who blinks first, because he, of course, has about 4 laps more new tires on this machine. Doug Argabright coming into pit along with Ian Humphreys, and then there was one. Taking a look here at Matt Gaskins, your race leader, the last car to come in for the money stop here. And I got to be honest with you, folks, if I was him, I'd be the last one in there, too. He gets that bonus point for leading a lap in the race. And with 20 to go here, now 19 to go as he crosses the start-finish line. Gaskin's going to come in and get himself all settled up here for these last now 19 laps at Michigan International Speedway in the MNN Xfinity Series on the Independence Racing Network. And folks, stand by because, of course, yet again, we have a bot in our YouTube.com feed. 18 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway. Mike Wright, your race leader, as it seems like he is every week a race leader at some point, being followed closely by Eugenio Alonso in the number 86 Chevrolet Camaro. Eugenio starting to draft up to the rear of Mike Wright. They are followed by Bennett Allen in the number 3 Toyota Supra. Clayton Davis running in 4th. Brandon Minto in 5th. R.P. Allen running in 6th. Justin Davis in 7th. Brad Gunn in 8th, Tony Burt in 9th, and Matthew Gaskins in the number 79 Ford Mustang rounds out the top 10 here at Michigan. And, you know, we haven't really gotten a chance to talk about it yet, but glad that, you know, everybody has made a point to come out here. You know, we're only about an hour from Battle Creek, Michigan, and, you know, I've talked about it before, and, you know, one of the things to keep in mind is what Battle Creek really holds. Of course, once upon a time, Battle Creek was the home of the Kellogg Sanatorium, or the Battle Creek Sanatorium, which, of course, in the early part of the 20th century and somewhat the late part of the 19th century, it was basically a spa, as it would have been, as we would call it today. They were Dr. John Harvey. Oh, and we are under caution, as it looks like Matthew Helm may have gone off track here. We will take a look. Taking a look at Matthew Helm here in the number 25 machine. He's already been down about 8 laps, so it just gets it completely sideways, coming out of turn 3 into turn 4, and just gets down here into the grass. He's probably had quite a frustrating evening tonight. And, you know, to be completely honest, I can't blame him.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Going to be 13 to go when we cross the start-finish line. Mike Wright gets into the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway. Green flag racing with 13 to go now at Michigan International Speedway. You are watching the MNN Xfinity Series live exclusively on the Independence Racing Network, brought to you proudly by Northeastern Fire and Air, Butt Kicker, and RS Button Boxes. Folks, Mike Wright just jumped out here into the lead and decided he's had enough with being back in traffic as Bennett Allen, Brandon Minto, and Clayton Davis trying to chase him down here. You know, I can't get over enough exactly how great these drivers are. I mean, Mike Wright, week after week, wow! Eugenio Alonso just drops down onto the race, on toward the apron here on the race surface. He's staying on the low side of Clayton Davis. It's almost like he had drifted up just a little bit toward Davis. It causes Davis to have to check up here in the middle of this race. And this is definitely not the time that you want to be checked up, because at this point I think we're going to see a lot of guys with that pedal all the way down to the floor. As, my gosh, wow, the 3-car throws a block in front of the 86, but Eugenio swings to the outside and manages to do that Texas two-step right around him. Taking a look here at whatever happened to Ian Humphreys. Not real sure what went on here. But Ian Humphreys in the 32 car. iRacing.com timing and scoring says that he crashed, but I don't see it. And there it is. 01 in the 32 getting into it, but we stay green. With now 11 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway. Whoa! Mike Wright and Eugenio Alonso just dancing around one another as Brandon Minto has managed to get around Wright, as this three-way battle for the lead is as hot as it's ever been. We can see Mike Wright now being passed by Brandon Minto, driver of the number 12 Chevrolet Camaro. And it looks like Eugenio Alonso almost making contact with the 98 as Mike Wright just got out of the way, but now Wright coming back on the outside. This three-way battle for the next 10 laps could be, oh my goodness. And it looks like Mike Wright got himself sideways, or got himself against the wall. We're going to take a run back here. And you can see Mike Wright in the number 98 Ford Mustang just ever so gently getting up. It's almost like he had just tightened up at the at the worst possible moment, and just gets up into the wall and just gets that. It would be a Darlington stripe if we were in South Carolina, but unfortunately we are here in the Midwest in Michigan. And I'll tell you what, folks, Eugenio Alonso sits atop the pile now with Matthew Gaskins in the number 79 Outcast Sim Paints Ford Mustang. He is going to hold on to P2, but right now the real battle is just heating up behind him as Doug Argerbright, Dylan Ackart, and Brandon Minto all sticking together here. And we can see Ackart not afraid to drive with some aggression here in the late stage of this race, as he is going to dive bomb here underneath the 79 of Gaskins. And now it looks like Gaskins going to be holding on to P3 as Dylan Ackart running in P2 and Eugenio Alonso leading this piece, but not for long, says Dylan Ackart, as he is now caught up after being a lap down earlier from that black flag, gets around Eugenio Alonso. And your race leader here late in the day with 7 to go, Dylan Ackart, leads Eugenio Alonso, who now looks like he may fall victim to Matt Gaskins being chased down by Doug Argerbright. So this race far from over here in Brooklyn, Michigan. And of course, Brooklyn, Michigan, just about an hour away from Battle Creek, Michigan. And oddly enough, the largest company, the second largest company in Michigan, or second largest number of employees in Michigan, is the Denso Manufacturing Company with 2,616 employees. They, of course, manufacture automotive parts, automotive engineering, a huge part of what goes on here in Michigan. Of course, we're about an hour and 20 minutes away from Detroit. And, for some people, you say the word Detroit and they immediately think of, Homestead outside of Miami, or maybe they think of, Norristown or Chester outside of Philadelphia, or, Bayonne in New Jersey. But, be honest, Brooklyn, Michigan, beautiful place, just about an hour to Detroit and an hour to Battle Creek, Michigan. Of course, Battle Creek also home to the Kellogg Company. That's where their world corporate headquarters is, as that company originally started by Will Kellogg, who basically had gotten the idea from making granola in his brother John Harvey's sanatorium right over there in Battle Creek, Michigan. Of course, one of the things that they had pushed originally at the Battle Creek Sanatorium Dylan Ackart, your race leader, plenty of space between himself and Matt Gaskins. Just about 2 seconds even, and now they are 2 seconds even as Gaskins running in P2. Eugenio Alonso, however, he's trying to get P2 from him with 4 to go here. These drivers not willing to give up tonight, as, right now tempers are starting to flare, and these drivers starting to heat up that talent pool. Right now, 4 to go as Dylan Ackart crosses the start-finish line. We are 3 to go here in Brooklyn, Michigan. And we see the 2-car of Clayton Davis working the inside of Bennett Allen with Mike Wright in close pursuit, but I don't think Mike Wright has a prayer to make up all the distances. We are now 3 laps to go. When Dylan Ackart crosses the start-finish line here, we will be at 2 to go, and it just looks like it may be, too late for Mike Wright to get back up there and do battle. So we've got Ackart, Alonso, and Gaskins with Argerbright running up here in the top 4. And quite frankly, if you were playing one of these things is not like the other, Matthew Gaskins is a Gaskins, not an Ackart, Alonso, or Argerbright. So a bunch of A's here atop the pile as Argerbright working the now inside of the 04, driven by none other than the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael. So glad to have him with us tonight. Glad to have you with us tonight in the YouTube.com live chat. Plenty of folks there getting active, and yet again, There's some more spam. Nothing like a good pile of spam to ruin your Facebook.com live stream. And we are now under caution as Clayton Davis has crashed. We're going to take a look at Clayton Davis in the 2 car. And it looks like the 3 car just slid down and then it almost looked like he thought he was hooking him. And then the 2 drivers just get together and, away she goes, if you will.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field worked its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing it's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, they're wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
We are going to be green-white checker here as NASCAR overtime rules come into play. We are going to race around for that white flag. So 3 laps to go here as Dylan Ackart, Matt Gaskins, and Eugenio Alonso are going to be battling it out here for the win and rights to victory lane. Looks like Dylan Ackart here gets the run all the way away from Matt Gaskins and Eugenio Alonso. That'll leave them back here to sort it out between themselves. Brandon Minto getting ready to jump into this mess. And just back behind them, we start to see things getting even uglier as now Mike Wright gets yeeted down here onto the apron. That's not where he wants to go as your points leader now coming all the way back up onto the race surface. Brandon Minto now chasing his way up toward third position, trying to get there to where Argabright is. And the white flag is out, so the next flag will end this race as one more time Dylan Ackart, who won stage 1 and 2, has dominated this race tonight. Here with that Premier Racing SetupShop.com setup he's got in the Chevrolet Camaro as they go down the backstretch one more time. It's Ackart, Alonso, and Argabright, the AAA here atop the pile. Don't look now, though, Matthew Gaskins in the number 79 Outcast Sim Paints Ford Mustang makes that late lap move, and it looks like he is going to hold on just here side by side with Argabright. It looks like Gaskins and Argabright going to go door handle to door handle, but Gaskins going to come out on top of this. So one heck of a race tonight as the checkered flag flies here at Michigan International Speedway. Well, it's been an exciting race from green flag to checkered flag here, as always. And I got to be honest with you, folks, as I look here at the final running order, I think this is about the first time all season, after he's already won 10 races, that I am not going to be talking to Mike Wright here. And in fact, looks like it's going to be probably the first time I'm going to talk to Dylan Ackart here. And I'm just going to confirm that. No, I lie. The second time I get to talk to Dylan Ackart. This is his 8th race and his 2nd win, so hopefully he gets down here into the Discord so I can get in touch with him. And we are here with our race winner, Dylan Ackart, driver of the number 66 machine out here tonight. Sponsored by the Premier Racing Setup Shop. Dylan, listen, you you brought home the green and white checkered flag twice and then decided that you wanted to add the black and white checker to finish this bad boy off tonight. How you feeling there?
Oh, my God. I knew we had a fast car at the very beginning of the race. We've been fast all throughout the official week, and we've only been improving the setup more and more every lap and every race. But that last restart there, oh, I'm so glad we don't have intercoms in the Discord channel because, man, you would have to, every single word would be beeping after that unworthy black flag there. And we just kind of kept going and going, and the strategy was that the original strategy was stop midway and put just enough fuel in it, put right side tires, and bring it home. But after we got that unnecessary black flag, it was just run until either we get lapped down again or we run out of fuel. But we were able to, I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
Buddy, listen, you earned this win tonight. After I saw you serve that black flag, I saw you coming down. I mean, I heard you on race radio, and I thought, oh, he sounds mad. And then I saw you come down pit road. Here's the thing. Everybody gets a little angry when they're out there, especially when you're in the position that you were all night long. and only to get that black flag when it's not your fault can be very frustrating. So I totally get it, brother.
Oh yeah, it was. You can ask my teammates. There was a lot of bad words being said in that Discord, but you know, still all together, I can't thank Premier Setup Shop enough. They put a awesome setup in the box, and we just kept working on it as a team and just kept getting better and better every week and every race. And now we're, shows when we get together and we work hard on what actually can be done together and just trying our best. But I gotta thank John Timms. He's owner of EE Sports and the team I drive for, and everybody else. The admins here, we weren't always happy together in this race, but still was able to get an awesome finish and just an amazing run.
Yeah, man, listen, it was definitely an amazing race. And before we cut you loose here tonight, is there anybody that you'd like to tip your helmet to here for win number 2 on the season?
Yeah, just
I mean, you covered a lot of them, but
I mean, yeah, I can't keep thanking Premier and EE Sports. John took me in when my old team fell apart and came to him, and him and I and the other admins and administrators of that team have just kept building something better and better and better. And I just can't thank him enough for bringing me on and doing what we do in our own time and for the group itself and everyone in the group.
all right, man. Well, listen, good luck next week. And listen, enjoy that win and go out there and have a nice night, now that you get to cap everything off with 2-stage wins and that checkered flag, brother.
It's nice. Drove home this afternoon, so between IRL and virtual, I did almost 600 miles. So it's nice to come home with a nice, good finish.
Yeah, you've definitely earned it, man. All right, listen, have a good night.
All right, you too. Thank you.
That was Dylan Ackert, your race winner, and right now pulling in Eugenio Alonso. It's Dave Regal up here in the broadcast booth. Can you copy?
Hey Dave, how are you, man?
I'm all right, brother. Listen, you're definitely our only international driver here from Buenos Aires, and I got to be honest, you ran one heck of a race tonight. I mean, how is that car feeling for you?
I feel the car. I'm very happy with the result. I feel the car super fast all race. My reference was always Mike, and I think it's the first time I was faster than him.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the few nights this season that I don't get to talk to Mike at the end of the race. I mean, you guys have been side by side. I mean, you and I have been side by side on a Sunday night. I mean, man, you definitely are working your way up there toward the old the victory circle. I mean, what are you thinking as far as next week now that this one's out of the way?
Michigan is one of the my favorite tracks. Next week I think is Richmond. Richmond is hard.
Oh yeah, there's not near as much room at Richmond as there is here at Michigan.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love Michigan.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can tell you that I love Michigan only because it was one of the best finishes I had all season in the Cup Series. But you've got one win under your belt. So next week you're going to go to Richmond, and then just after that you're going back to Road America. So a short track, then a road course. So things are about to get pretty tight here for you.
Yeah, road course is super hard for me. Road America especially, I can run in this track.
Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens. And before we let you go tonight, is there anybody that you'd like to thank for this run tonight?
Thanks to Sean for invite to your team, and Tony always talking and give me strategies. I thanks these guys.
All right, man. Well, listen, then we will see you next week at Richmond, and you have a good night.
Yes, sir. Good night. See you.
That was Eugenio Alonso, driver of the number 86 Chevrolet Camaro, and got to be honest, he is one of the more talented drivers that we see here. I mean, he is always up here battling for the lead. And, next week we're going short track racing there in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And, quite frankly, we know things are going to get, tempers are going to flare there even more than here at Michigan International Speedway. And before we get out of here, we want to make sure we take a little bit of time here to look at that final running order. Out of the 26 drivers that took the green flag, only one didn't come in running yet here at the end. But your race winner, Dylan Ackard, here in the number 66 PremierSetupShop.com Chevrolet Camaro, followed by Eugenio Alonso in the number 86 Chevrolet Camaro. Matt Gaskins finishes on the podium in third. Didn't see him in Discord, so not able to interview him tonight. We'll have to catch up with Matt next week if he's around. Doug Argerbright finishes fourth, and Brandon Minto rounds out the top five. Bennett Allen, Tony Burt, R.P. Allen, Michael Astuto in his debut here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series finishes ninth, and Brad Gunn rounds out the top 10 in the number 36 Toyota Supra. Finishing in 11th was Mike Wright, our points leader, who, as I had said, I think this is pretty much the first time all season that he hasn't finished on a podium. So, unfortunately for Mike, finishing 11th. Zachary Vaughn in 12th. Justin T. Davis finishes 13th. Aaron Mack, who had a little bit of a fan following here on YouTube.com, finishes 14th. John Bawala III, your Tuesday Night NASCAR Thunder Truck Series commissioner in the number 51 Chevrolet, finishes 15th. Ian Humphreys finishes 16th. Bob Nestor, your Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series commissioner in the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra, finishes 17th, with Chad Sanner finishing in 18th. Clayton Davis finishes in 19th, with Chris Claude rounding out the top 20. Ricky Carmichael, the GOAT of AMA Supercross and Motocross, finishes tonight's Xfinity Series race in 21st, with Matt Mackin, Matthew Helm, Corey Burkett, Zach Osborne, and Jeff Carson rounding out the 26 drivers that took the field tonight. So, folks, listen, been a great night. Everybody really had a good time out on the racetrack. I know I did here in the broadcast booth. And before we let you go, just remember, tomorrow during the day, you find that one moment and you hold on to it. You find that one good thing and you never let it go. Good night, everybody.